The shirt up, and we're ready to go live, folks. All right. Hey, and welcome, everybody. This is Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine, the podcast. Boy, we just barely got started this morning, folks. I mean, just barely. It's just been one of those mornings. Everything seems to be getting kind of late, kind of a late start, but it's all right. We're all good, and we're all started now. Thank you, folks. It's Happy Monday. Hopefully, everybody is over the turkey. The turkey. What do they call it? Turkey hypnosis. Whatever they call it. Where you eat so much turkey that you're just thinking to yourself, "What have I been doing eating so much turkey?" I know that we have had turkey sandwiches. I've had turkey pot pie. I've had turkey stew. I've had turkey and chicken stew, and just I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Well, maybe not. Maybe one more. Maybe one more round of turkey will do me. But other than that, we're all good to go. Today, folks, on Black Success Magazine, we're going to actually talk about confidence and something that we all need. And I'm going to give you 10 tips on building ultimate confidence that is going to build you up so that you are willing to take on anything. I mean, anything and everything. And before I do that, I've got a really weird camera angle here that's going to YouTube, and I just I don't know if I like that. So for you folks that are on YouTube, on Facebook, you're good. You've got a great angle that I'm looking for. I'm going to probably try to do that on our YouTube channel too. I kind of like that a little bit better. Anyways, let's talk about confidence. This is a confidence for a lot of people is an elusive thing. I mean, it's more elusive than you would think because really there's no real definition for it that a lot of people are really searching for. You need confidence, but you really don't know what it is. And there's a biblical saying, that talks about confidence is like being sure of something, and kind of like turning on the light switch. When I turn on the light switch for my room, for the cameras, for all the things I'm working with here in the studio, I am confident that those things will work. And that's important, is that you have this confidence level. But how do you do that in yourself? Well, how do you build that in yourself? And that's really what we're going to be talking about today. But before we do that, let's talk about something that is really important. It's coming out in the next 2 weeks, is Black Success Magazine. We've been talking about this for a couple of months now, that we've been working on Black Success Magazine. It is literally coming out in the next 2 weeks. So we're actually almost done with it. We've got a few more things to do with it. A little pretty and stuff like that. But we're done. And so if you'd like to advertise, I guess if you'd like to advertise, we still have some spots open, not a lot of spots left open, because it's really packed with a lot of great information. If you'd like to advertise, you'd like to be an advertiser, whether that be a full spread or, quarter, whatever, send us an email. Send us an email at blacksuccessmagazine@gmail.com. It's blacksuccessmagazine@gmail.com. And we will hook you up. And, but time is really short. And really is. I cannot impress upon you enough, excuse me, how important it is that you get this done like really quick. Because if you don't, you're probably just going to miss out. This is our inaugural issue. Did I mention that? Yeah, it's the inaugural issue, which means that this is a collector's item. And so you don't want to miss out on this. So if you'd like to be in the inaugural issue of Black Success Magazine, the actual digital magazine, we're going to send that out. We'll probably hit, oh gosh, it's going to go all over the place, folks. It really is. I know if it's anything like the podcast is everywhere. We are in Australia. We're in France. we're all over the planet. And if the magazine is anything like the podcast, you are going to be all over the place. So, like I said, if you'd like to be in the magazine, our inaugural issue of Black Success Magazine, send me an email at blacksuccessmagazine@gmail.com. So let's talk about confidence and 10 tips on building ultimate confidence. Number 1, connect with yourself. Confidence and connection go hand in hand, since we're most confident when we are real. And this is important. When you're real, when you're authentic, when you're in your who you are, that's the beginning right there. It really is. Now, how many of you have ever heard of this guy? My wife knows about this. If my wife is watching, Archibald Leach. How many of you know who Archibald Leach is, or more commonly known as? Cary Grant. Yeah, Cary Grant. His real name was Archibald Leach. And a lot of people have got names, that you just don't. Here's the thing about Archibald Leach, though. Cary Grant is a fake person, is a character that Archibald Leach spent his entire career playing. How do I know that? Well, there's a guy who wrote a book about it. This is really interesting. He said even the voice that we hear, Judy, that kind of thing, that Cary Grant, that's not a true English. We all think it's an English accent, but it's not. It's a made-up amalgamation of several things. Most British people, when they hear Cary Grant speak, they go, that's not British. It's not even Cockney. It's not anything. It's a made-up thing, which is really tough. That's tough to play because you really don't know who you are. So connecting with yourself is the starting process. Who are you? Are you? And I'm going to write an entire article on this. Where's my pen? There you go. Because this is the real, and we're going to call it the real me, because many of us spend our entire lives pretending we're somebody else. And as a result of that, we're just not confident. We're just not flowing. We're not doing the things that we should be doing because we're being somebody else, or somebody that everybody else expects us to be. And in the Black community, that's high. Number 2, excuse me. Open up. Open up to the world and get curious about what's happening around you. When we get curious, we become lifelong learners, which helps to quiet our inner critic, because we tend to critique ourselves. When we get curious about things outside of us, we're not looking so much at ourselves anymore. With the learner present, we're not operating out of anxiety, fear, or worry. We're less likely to shut down our ideas, dreams, or plans. Building confidence depends on openness. Okay, building confidence depends on openness, about opening up yourself to new ideas. Okay, you don't have to be the guy who knows everything or the girl who knows everything. You don't have to be the prettiest one in the room or the thinnest one or the most fit one. You're open to seeing, boy, there's other things out there in life that are pretty important out there also. When we believe that options exist and that gifts are to be found in challenges, get it? We find ways to thrive. The hardest thing about being the smartest guy in the room is you only have one way of looking at things. That's the toughest part. You are not open to anybody else's input, which makes it which raises your anxiety level. Excuse me. I got this really bad cough this morning. It wasn't anything. I was drinking coffee. My first cup of coffee this morning just killed me. Openness leads to creativity, which means you're thinking about somebody other than yourself. Confidence really is the belief in yourself, and you're not worrying about yourself because you're confident. You already know what you can do. Okay. You already know what you're capable of doing, or that you're confident that you can continue to move forward. Okay. That you're open enough to look at things and go, oh my gosh, yeah, there's other things out there in life that I can look at. But when you're not open, you build anxiety because now you're unsure of yourself. See what I'm saying? You're unsure of yourself. So now you're anxiety filled. You're thinking about yourself. And every step you take, every move you make, that's a song, is filled with anxiety. And that's a tough place to go. Let's keep moving on because we're going to run out of time. I could talk on this all day long. Notice how you show up. Number 3, notice how you show up. Building confidence requires being yourself without apology. Full permission to be you is about stepping into your greatness. Okay. Some of the most confident people in the world are really physically, you look at them and you wouldn't say, boy, they're, beauty queens or, the tallest, the slenderest, but they know who they are and they are very comfortable with who they are. They have no problem walking into a room and going, all of this. Yeah. It's all me. Those people walk in a room and everybody goes, yes, you are the bad boy, because you're walking in the room and the world looks at you and the world looks at you with a different eye, but you walk in and you already know who you are. You're not, you got the problem. I don't have the problem. You've got the problem because I know I'm all this. Okay. You have to know how you show up into a room. It's about being responsible for your impact, not holding back. It's saying to yourself that you matter and adding in self-care as a part of your daily life. Okay, so you're working out. I mean, I work out every single day, guys. I mean, pretty much every day. I went out for, I think we did 30 miles yesterday with a couple of buddies. I think I did about 15, 20 this morning. But going out and taking care of yourself every day, taking your vitamins, doing the things that matter to yourself and matter in your life. And we're just brushing over the top of this, folks. There's so much more to being a person of self-confidence, but we just don't have the time. We just don't have the time. Let's go on to number 4. Forget about your screw-ups. Okay. Failure is part of life. It is. We all make mistakes, and the key when you want to build confidence is to learn from them instead of letting them make you question your self-worth. Instead of you wondering, am I even just cool? Am I worth just even walking down the street? Does anybody care about me because you screwed up on something? No. You walk, it's just part of life. Mistakes are going to happen, but it should not be an indication of who you are as a person. Most millionaires, and I would say almost every millionaire I know of, has had major setbacks in life. I mean, not just a few, major, lost everything type thing. We were going to do a thing this morning, an article, we were going to do a show this morning on some of the setbacks of being an entrepreneur. But being an entrepreneur doesn't mean that everything you touch turns to gold. Being an entrepreneur means that you're going to suffer for a couple of years. That's kind of the way it is. Just get it in your head. The problem with a lot of people, though, is that they don't like to suffer. Nobody likes to suffer, but you don't mind suffering. That's the difference between an entrepreneur and somebody who will never become an entrepreneur. Suffering is a part of what an entrepreneur does. It is part of the package. That's just kind of the way it is. You know that you're going to be broke. You're going to be lonely. You're going to be, nobody's going to believe in your idea for a while until you, of course, you become an overnight success. Then everybody goes, yeah, man, you're the best. Man, I remember you. Yeah, you and I. You got the hand right. I love it. It's like when we started the Black Business Chamber, we started out with just a couple of people. Nobody even believed in that. Nobody believed in it. Then we hit about 1,500 people. Then people started going, you got quite a few people. We hit 3,000 people. All of a sudden, you got people coming out of the woodwork saying, hey, what's up, brother? What's up? Fist bump, that kind of stuff. And now the same thing, but you start all over again with Black Success Magazine. Black Success Magazine will become the best magazine in the world. Okay. It will be. speaking to Black people, success, that kind of stuff. When I first started Black Success Magazine, the word Black and success, and I've said this before and I'll keep saying, the word Black and success weren't even found together in a Google search. This was 7-8 years ago. Weren't even found together in a Google search. Now everybody and their mama is like going, oh, Black success, right? But nobody, and literally this was 2012, 2013 that I bought the domain name Black Success Magazine. Okay, nobody believed it. Nobody even thinking about it. But now all of a sudden, you got people coming out of the woodwork going Black Success. Okay, but it was real lonely at the beginning. Literally in the last couple of years is when it just started taking off. Then all of a sudden, everybody got excited about it, which is cool. But you have to forget about your screw ups. You can't be. If I would have thought about me and said, oh, everybody, woe is me, and I'm thinking about myself so much, oh, woe is me, I would have stopped a long time ago. But I didn't. Okay. You've got to build confidence. You've got to stop thinking about the screw ups and start thinking about the goal. Where are you going? Number 5, immerse yourself in creativity. Immerse yourself in creativity. When we create, we bypass the stuff that's going around us in our heads that has us questioning ourselves, the thoughts that make us self-conscious, stale, and stall us and paralyze us. You might think you aren't creative, but the more realistic truth is that you haven't tapped into your creativity in a long time. Okay? You just haven't tapped into that creativity. All of us are creative. I'll tell you, I was starting to do, I'm working on a cartoon series now. I know, like I don't have enough to do, right? I'm working on a cartoon series, and I've never really been an artist. I mean, I've drawn a lot in my life over the years, but I've never considered myself an artist. And I'm looking at some of this stuff, and I won't even show it to you. But you get pretty good at this stuff. You just haven't tapped into your creativity yet. We need to immerse ourselves in that creativity. Let yourself go and say, hey, you know what? I draw good stick figures. There's a guy who just wrote a book, and it's called The Wolf, the Raccoon, or the Muskrat, and the duck, or whatever it is. And it's just a bunch of pencil drawings. It's just a bunch of pencil drawings of, farm woodland animals. The things that it's a New York bestseller for like the last 6 years. Okay, you never know what it is. People, you don't know what people are going to get into. So, immerse yourself in creativity. You just haven't tapped into your creativity yet. Gosh, I'm running out of time. Number 6, dance through your days. We're talking about self-confidence. How do you build self-confidence? By approaching your days with the attitude that there are gems to be found, you are confirming that you are not managing your circumstances, but leading yourself through your days. And that your life is important. Think about when you're preparing to take action. You are reaching. Are you reacting, or are you creating? Is there a chance to bring in humor? What are you saying? What are you saying yes to? Approaching things with the understanding that you have choices and can set yourself up for success, even if the choices are limited, lets you feel confident. Okay? You've got to be in control of your day, not let somebody else be in control of your day. You've got to be the one who's saying, you know what? I have choices. I don't have to go to the left. I can go to the right, or I can go to the left and go really to the left, or I can go to the right, or I can go really to the right. But you have to set yourself up in your day saying that I've got choices. Dance through your day. Okay. A dance is a choreographed set of steps. It's not just haphazard. Well, unless you were in the 60s, right? No, even in the 60s, they danced. But it's choreographed. Choreograph your day. Dance through your day. Okay. Number 7, embrace your failures. One of the hardest things entrepreneurs and people who are on a success journey wrestle with is failing forward. They fight it. they fight it and they fight it, and so in an effort to not make mistakes, they don't attempt or risk things. And that's robbing themselves of, one, learning from those mistakes, or number two, achieving success. And your confidence level is built upon you being confident in what you can do, or in confident what you can't do, or being prepared and being comfortable in and you need to begin to embrace the failures in life and not avoid them. I fail every day, y'all, all day long. And I do it on purpose sometimes. I want to find out, okay? When I went riding this morning, I have a planned route that I go all the time, but I didn't want to go that way this time. I wanted to take a different route because I went riding with my buddies over the weekend, and these guys are older than me, but they are just animals. They ride these mountains and stuff like that, and they wait for me half the time. I know they are. They're just being they're being kind. They want to talk. We all want to talk to each other, so they're very very kind. But I don't want those guys have to wait for me all the time. So I'm going to take the harder route now and ride up this mountainside, this hill that goes all the way up in Las Vegas. It there's a lot of hills in Las Vegas. And I went out of my way and came back, and I probably added another mile onto my ride, maybe 2 miles onto my ride, but I didn't care. I care less. I mean, so what? You have to add a couple miles onto your ride, so you have to pick up that piece of thing. You have to repair that thing because you broke it. When I was growing up, my mom always said, bless her soul, her Jamaican soul, she goes, you were always the one who took things apart. You always took everything apart, and then you didn't put it back together. But I figured out how they worked. I was a very inquisitive mind. I want to know how things worked. So I took things apart all the time. I was an electrician for like 15 years. I would have probably never been a mechanically inclined person had I not, from a young age, tore things apart and put them back together. Or maybe not. It didn't really matter. The idea was to get confident in tearing things apart and knowing I could or I didn't have to put things back together. Didn't really matter. Embrace your failures. Don't be fearful of risking, because you learn in risking things and you learn in the failures in life. Now, I'm not saying that you have to jump off a cliff to find out that, you're going to die on the way down, but the only way we ever found out we could fly was because a lot of people risked a lot of things to get there. And some of them paid the ultimate price in doing it. Number 8, never speak against yourself. You should always do the best to offer constructive feedbacks to yourself regarding your actions, but there is no need for judgment or harshment. Don't ever say, I'm so stupid. Hit yourself in the head. And I'm so stupid. You're an idiot. You're going to be, flailing yourself with, cat of nine tails. No, don't do that. Okay. Matter of fact, you need to speak to yourself in really dulcet tones. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You need to speak to yourself and saying, you know what, bro, you are I don't know. Do they say schnizzle? You are the stuff. You need to speak to yourself really well and say, you know what, you are the best. You're doing your best. You can do more. Come on, baby. You need to be the Dallas cheerleaders of your own life. Because if you don't do it, who else is going to do it for you? Okay. There needs to be an inner voice in your head that is always saying, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Tell you a real quick story. There's a guy named Ernest Shackleton. I just saw this story last night. He was the first person was trying to cross the Antarctica, and took a team of men with him. Make a long story short, his boat got trapped in Antarctica, got trapped in an ice floe, and he had to leave his ship as it sunk, took his men, and went and found help. Months later, came back and rescued his guys. Okay, all right, that's the abridged version. Okay, it's a really cool story. I wish I could go through the whole thing with you, but I can't. The point being here is that this guy had an inner compass inside of him that said, you can do more. You can go on more. This was in 1904. Yeah, it was in 1904 that this happened, 1905, when this shipwreck happened in Antarctica. They didn't have the weather gear, they didn't have the duck, shoes and stuff like that. They had pretty sturdy clothes, but these guys in those days did not have the modern comforts we have today. There was an inner compass in those men, and especially in Shackleton. They call summon your Shackleton, right? Summon that inner voice inside of you that says you can go further. Because this guy did something that was more than miraculous. It was superhuman. For him and the men who believed in this guy, oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. The people who believed in this guy, they knew that if anybody could get it done, it was this guy. If anybody could go and get help and come back, be a man of his word, it was the captain of their expedition. And he did it. He didn't lose a man. Did not lose a man. They were in sub-zero weather, and these guys hung on, and they said, you know what? He's going to be back. Okay, it's a great story. It really is. I wish you should check it out. Let's go on to number 9. Choose a goal. When you choose a goal that you want to work towards, you instill a sense of motivation that will push you towards the things you want to achieve. Okay, so pick a goal. Pick a big goal. I mean, something stupid, crazy. Something that'll make you stretch. Okay, or you can pick a small one. I don't care. But you have to just pick a goal. The reward, the confidence building is in the moving towards it and setting your sights on something other than you. You know what I mean? I think a lot of things that happen to us in life that rob us of our confidence is we're so worried about us on what we can do that we're not thinking outside of us. Okay, when I go out running, when I go out riding my bike, or when I was running, I wasn't thinking, oh, how my body's feeling. I was thinking what it's going to feel like to get to that next mile marker, and then to the next mile marker. And before you know it, I'm at 20 miles. I'm at 25 miles. Each week, I was building upon that, hitting that goal. Okay, even to this day, excuse me, when I go out riding, I'm not thinking about me. I'm thinking about the goal. I'm thinking about riding in one direction. That's why I ride one direction. I generally don't ride in a big circle. I ride in one direction to hit the goal that I'm going to, because then I have to come back. Okay. It's not like you can come back if you keep going in a circle. If you go in a mile circle and you want to do 26 miles or 100 miles, whatever, you could stop at 5 miles. Okay. Because you're only, a half mile from where you're starting. But if you go 50 miles in one direction, you're going to make that 100 miles. I'm telling you right now, because it's going to take you got to come back 50 miles. Okay. So set a goal for yourself. Lastly, folks, enjoy the process. Don't take yourself too seriously. If you laugh and play while building your confidence, you will not only be more confident, but you will increase your joy. One of the my more favorite people is George Clooney. And I saw a story on him this weekend, which actually endeared him to me even more because the guy, they were talking about his haircut. And I'll end with this. And they were saying, hey, George, how about the haircut? And, who do you go to? And he says, well, I use that vacuum thing. He goes, I've been cutting my own hair for 25 years. People go, wait a minute, you're a multimillionaire, big time star, and you use that vacuum thing that you saw, the Shamwalla type thing. You cut your hair with that. And he goes, yeah, it works. And he's laughing about it. And we're all laughing about it. And we fall in love with the guy even more, and life is that way. You can become anything you want to be, folks. and it's not going to take forever. So anyways, this has been Sherman Ray. This is Black Success Magazine podcast. Thank you, folks, for being a part of the show. We'll see you again tomorrow on the show, 8:30 in the morning. And for those of you folks that are watching us still on YouTube or on Facebook, once again, you've got a great opportunity now, and the opportunity is really to get in on Black Success Magazine, be an advertiser. If you'd like to be an advertiser, if you'd like to be a part of our inaugural launch. I mean, this is our launch of our brand. It's going to be the launch. You can be a part of it. If you'd like to be an advertiser, send me an email. I'll get back in contact with you at blacksuccessmagazine.com, or excuse me, blacksuccessmagazine@gmail.com. blacksuccessmagazine@gmail.com. The magazine is really pretty much done. We're going to a few more touches on it. We're going to be launching in about 2 weeks, really mid-December. We kind of got pushed back 4 weeks, but it's fine. We're almost done with it. But we've got just a few advertising spaces open. You'd like a full page, quarter page, half page. We'll make accommodations to it, but you've got to get it in pretty quick. I mean, you really do. We're not going to hold up anymore. It's going to get out there, folks. So send me an email, blacksuccessmagazine@gmail.com. Really affordable. But we're going to get it out there. Okay. So blacksuccessmagazine@gmail.com. Hey, this has been Sherman Ray. Thank you, folks, once again for being a part of the show. We'll see you again tomorrow morning, 8:30 in the morning, Pacific Standard Time here in Las Vegas. Thank you, folks, once again. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.